Yeah. The People Podcast. I'm on it here to make you think and take them black to the basis. No gimmicks needed. Our melanin was designed for this greatness. Power was created, the most high, assigned to the favorites. We win as a nation, it's mutual. Young black man, you enough. Ladies, you beautiful. Don't let them tell you different. Your energy can't be shifted. Created, nor destroyed. That's a scientific fact, so opinions is all forward. This is how you're learning, how your conscious awareness of self. This that undisputed, undefeated, and in the belt. This your grandma cooking on Sunday morning. Don't touch the fridge. God is good all the time and all the time. Yeah, you did. This is music for the mind. Lyrics to touch your soul. Melody for high frequencies.
Yes, sir. We are back once again with another episode of Black to the Basics, aka the People's Podcast. I am your host and one half, Mr. J. Weeks, here with my co-host.
It's your boy Jared, man, checking in, slimming down. What's going on, people?
Yes,
how y'all
sir. Another day, another dollar, another chance to talk to the kinfolk. Kinfolk, we told y'all that we had something special for y'all this season, and we coming to deliver. You know what I'm saying? So today, we got to bring. We told them that we were going to bring more interviews, so we're excited to have an additional interview. This interview is near and dear to my heart because this is somebody that I know that knows me before I was Jay Weeks. So yeah, so I'm excited for this interview. So today, kinfolk, we like to welcome Shamika Burwell, the realtor. What's good?
Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing? Thank you for having me.
How are you doing today?
It's an honor. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
You're doing good. It's good to see you in person via camera. I haven't actually seen you in person other than on social media since we graduated in 2003.
Don't put that out there. No, it has been about 20 years, truthfully. You're right. It's been 20 years. That's crazy, right?
It's been a minute. What's going on with you? How's life?
Life is definitely lifing,
That's good.
But, not a bad thing. Definitely good. I'm, as you stated before, in the real estate industry now. So after 20 years in the healthcare segment,
hold on. We can't wait, backtrack. So let me show you how we do here. We don't bring nobody on here cold, Shamika. We gotta get you warmed up. We gotta get you warmed up. We ain't doing no cold interviews. Don't worry about this.
Look, don't worry about this kid. And she got the best color on already. So
right. She already formal, ready to get into it. We're gonna get into all of this. Trust me.
We're gonna get into it. Okay.
We're gonna get into it. We don't bring no guests on here cold. So we got something prepared for you today before we get into our formal interview. We like to have a little fun beforehand. We like to play a little game called Rapid Fire. So we're going to ask you a few questions, and it's just, whatever the first thing that comes to mind. This is, ain't nothing too serious, but just the first thing to come to mind, we want your answer. You ready?
Ready.
All right, let's get it.
Right, listen, we jumping right into it. So who is your biggest inspiration in your life?
My biggest inspiration, I would say, is my grandmother. My grandmother is, literally the jack of all trades. She's the matriarch, of course, of our family. But at 87 years old, my grandma is still so witty. My grandma is literally a Proverbs 31 woman. My grandma has always set the bar high and literally has set the example for me. So she certainly is an inspiration for me. An inspiration to be a hard worker, a go-getter, to never give up, never quit. It doesn't matter how old you are. Age is literally just a number. She does not let her age limit her. She's still moving around today, getting around today, goes to church every Sunday. Don't miss a Sunday. So my grandma is literally my inspiration.
Okay, grandma.
Shout out to grandma.
Okay. So next question, would you rather have more time or more money?
I'm going to go with time.
I'm going to
go with time.
Okay, explain why.
I'm going to say, money comes and money goes, right?
Yes,
right.
But time is something you can never get back. You can never get your time back, right? So if you have the time and you're spending that time the way you want to do it, hopefully you making money in your sleep. So with the time comes the money. You understand what I'm saying?
You got the time, you can make the money. What it sound like what she's saying to me.
That's all I'm saying.
2 for 1. So let's get it. So what song are you listening to get you going? Whether it be first thing in the morning, in the gym, what's your go-to? Yeah. What's that one song?
Well, I'm gonna have to say right now, my go-to song is "Goodness of God" by CeCe Winans, because literally, like, the song says His goodness is running after me, it's chasing after me. Literally, that's how I feel. Like, God has not ever answered a prayer, has not ever not answered a prayer that I prayed. It may not have been in my timing, but He always comes through in the clutch, right? That's my guy. I always say, like, you don't want me to go to my daddy about you. And I do love my daddy, though, my biological father. Don't get it twisted, because I'm still a daddy's girl, no matter how old I get. However, big God up above, listen, He's seen me through some things that I don't even know how I've come through it, right? I give Him all the glory, because at the end of the day, I know that it is because of Him that I am where I am right now. Definitely not by my own strength, definitely not by my own power. So first thing in the morning when I get up, it's not even a cliche for me. Like, when I wake up, I'm going to pray. Like, I'm going to I have to set myself up for the day. And in order to do that, I always start with inspiration. That's just for me. But right now, my song is "The Goodness of God."
Won't He do it? Won't He will?
Yes, He will.
All the time. Let's go.
Hey, shout out to your pops, man. Mickey Mills, man. This is a little known fact. So I've always been a huge Bob Marley fan, but just reggae altogether. And as a youngster, your pops actually got me to really experience reggae. Like, took me on a couple spots for him to tour with him, and really got to experience the culture. So really, he's responsible for me being engulfed even more. So, little known fact about your pops. Shout out to Mickey Mills.
Yes, that's my guy too. I love my daddy.
Man, her pops be on the steel drums, take you there. And does he still make the peanut butter punch?
What? You know we get that peanut punch every time we go home. Every time. The holidays, you already know. Even my kids are hooked on it now.
Hey, that peanut butter punch is something true.
Yes.
Shout out to your pops. So, 3 words. You have 3 words, right? 3 words that best describe Shamika. What would those 3 words be?
I'm going to say resilient. I'm going to say go-getter. I'm going to say hard worker.
I think all of those fit. And one of the things I recall about you in high school, you were a part of a dance organization when you were in high school. So I know you have a skill set there. Right now, there's a huge debate that people have. Chris Breezy is, one of the best dancers ever. But a lot of old school people, they love Usher. So in a dance battle, who you going with? Usher or Chris Brown? Talk to us. Yeah, it's hard. I see you. Which one?
That's hard right there.
I already know who I got.
I'm going to have to go old school, though. I'm going to have to go with Usher. Because I'm just...
He learned from MJ. Yeah. It's old. Irv is going to go with Chris Brown because he's loyal to...
He from the crib. So
he come from VA, so he
know what it is.
I'm just saying, well, I'm loyal to Usher because I'm old school. You stay there.
All right. So, which would you rather have, $1 million or an 850 credit score?
Oh yeah, I want to hear this one because we hear this all the time. I've seen this and I've seen this answered different ways. I want to hear it live from a realtor.
Well, if I'm being honest,
Keep
my
it
credit
above.
score is already high. So I'm gonna go with the million.
Humble brag. Humble brag.
Listen, I'm gonna go with $1 million regardless. You know,
I'm going with $1 million. Even if my credit score wasn't high, I could get it for $850 with $1 million. You feel
I'm
me?
gonna go with $1 million, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with $1 million.
It don't matter what. It don't matter what the credit is.
If I can't pay off whatever I need to get to $850 with $1 million, I don't need $1 million.
You are absolutely correct in saying that.
I got you. All right, last one. So last one, we're gonna wrap it up. So I also know that you played sports as well. Little known fact, you're a hooper. People don't know, but you're a hooper. So LeBron or MJ?
Ooh, you know,
another old school, new school.
Listen, I'm a little bit torn because I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
Because you know, MJ definitely old school. You know what I'm saying? But in this new generation, I love how LeBron gives back to his community, right? He started the school, the Promise School.
Yeah.
He's present for his kids, you know, and he lets the world see it. And, you know, I'm just really torn now. As far as the game is concerned,
yes.
Mike, you know, we know Mike got more rings and stuff. And Mike, you know,
come on,
the greatest of all time.
Yes, GOAT.
You know.
Oh my goodness.
But I love LeBron though. I love Bronny. I do love Bronny too. So it's just like they both have their strengths.
It's okay. You know, me and Irv debate this all the time. It's always going to be, you know, MJ to go, but it's okay. You know, he's a Kobe guy. May he rest in peace.
Yeah, you already know what it
is. he actually has a 2-4 tattoo on his back because
it's on my arm. But
are you serious?
Not because of Kobe though. You know what I'm saying? It's so listen. So I played ball. My mother's birthday is July 24th. I wore number 24 and number 11 when I played ball in high school and college. So it just fit, and just so happens the GOAT wore number 24, so it worked out.
And then in summertime, when he go to the beach, they get to see his back tat. You know,
got
different
but
things.
I can go with Kobe too. Kobe was a beast, literally.
Yeah.
So
Mama mentality. All right, so now we officially got you warmed up. I think now we ready.
I got all my jitters out.
Yeah, you think we good now?
I think we ready to rock.
I think she ready.
All right, let's roll.
So I talked about earlier of us going to high school together when I moved to NC, and one of the things I always observed about you over any other person I went to school with, I mean, you were, like I mentioned about you being on the dance team, you hooped, you were like A honor roll. You also, I felt like you were working 2 jobs at the time too.
I was working, yeah.
Right. I've never really seen you kind of stand still. Like you were always in motion during high school, right? And I know earlier you talked about the inspiration of your grandmother. Like, how are you maneuvering like an adult in high school? Is my question for you to kind of start off, because you had a lot going on. Like, if I felt like every time you would try to talk to you, it was like you had to be in motion. Like, yeah, walk with me here because I'm about to go. So where did all that come from?
To be honest with you, yeah, I did have a lot going on, and contrary to popular belief, like my childhood wasn't that easy, right? So I got my first job at 14 at Chick-fil-A. So I was working at Chick-fil-A. And then when I turned 16, I got another job at Carrollwoods, which was right down the street from the school. Remember Carrollwoods? But you had to be 16 to work there. And so I was also taking care of my younger sister because my mom, you know, unfortunately was, you know, my biological mother was on drugs at the time. And so I didn't want my sister to go into the system. So I decided to try to step up and help, you know, with taking care of my sister. So yeah, like I had to pay grown people bills. Nobody knew that. You remember those apartments? Was it Royal Park apartment?
Yeah.
In Scarborough? Yeah, I lived there. Me and my sister. Yeah, and so, you know, it was just a time where you had to choose to either look like your environment or be something totally different.
That's a bar right there. I'm just saying. Bars.
And I just didn't want that to be my story. You know what I mean? Like so many people, I remember in high school, you know, people's moms would be like, oh, she's so fast and she's so grown and, you know, she ain't gonna do this and she ain't gonna never amount to nothing. Like, that sticks with kids over time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it absolutely does.
I never wanted that to be my story. Like, I would always say when I was in school, like, I'm gonna show them, like, it doesn't matter what your story looks like. It doesn't matter how you start. It's always in how you finish, right? So, you know, this is definitely not a sprint, it's a marathon. And I used to always just really want my family and people to show up for me, especially my mom, you know, like at those award ceremonies when I was doing sports, I was cheering and I was running track and doing all those things. And it's hard to look out in the audience and it's empty for you, right?
Yes.
So in that time, I was working, I was taking care of my sister, taking the city bus everywhere, you know, because remember back then, the city bus was free. So
you can go wherever.
Wherever you had to go. So that's what I would do. I would take the city bus, take her to school, and then I would go to school, and then I would go to work. And then one of my aunts would help me out, like with my sister, like in the evening time. So it was a very difficult time. I really didn't have time to be a kid like everybody else. Everybody else was being, you know, their normal age. I was like 10 years older than y'all, but really not so much on paper. You know what I mean? So I really kind of didn't have a choice. And it was make the decision like either sink or swim. And I was definitely not going to sink.
Wow. The more you know about people, like it's crazy that, you know, and I mean, seriously, because we always think that we have a perspective on someone based on the outside looking in. But to hear that you had all these things going on and you were really making things happen. We were just looking like she's driven, like she making things happen. I thought it was just a sprint because you were just someone who really were, you know, driven. But I mean, you had to make things happen because like you said, bills got to get paid. They weren't stopping. So shout out.
Gotta get paid.
So shout out to you for stepping up and making a way for you and your sister and doing things while being in school, because you know high school is a very different time because you're like on the cusp where you're a kid, but you know your days are getting much shorter.
Right.
You know, as it's getting real closer.
As adolescent.
Right. And Irv and I had this conversation about him realizing like that, you know, adult was kicking in where he graduated and thinking like, all right, I'm gonna chill, and it's like, nah, you got to make things happen. And he had that same revelation like, oh man, like it's in. But to see you go out and do all these different things while still excelling in school, shout out to you. Shout out to you.
Hey, shout out having two jobs.
My mom is clean now.
Big shout out shout out to mom.
Yeah, so that's good for her. Yeah,
that's amazing. So after school, I know you went into healthcare. Did you go directly into healthcare after graduating, or what was that transition?
So no, actually I had a scholarship to Bennett College and did not go, like, because I didn't have anyone to take care of my sister. So I had to go turn in my dorm keys. So I could not go to college. So what I did was I went to Alamance Community College and went to cosmetology school. And I quickly learned that was not the avenue that I wanted to take. I was like, I do not want to be standing up on my feet all day in the hair salon every weekend, all the holidays. You know, I knew that wasn't really something I wanted to do. So I would just do like my family and friends hair, but I really never took it on professionally because I knew that wasn't what I really wanted to do. Okay. Right? I could do it and I could do it well, but it still wasn't my thing. So I ended up getting into the healthcare industry then. No, I went to a call center first and then got into healthcare. So in healthcare, I went into the hospital sector. I was working at the hospital for a while, at Duke Hospital to be exact. And then I left Duke and I started working for a nonprofit company where I was a business office manager over operations for about 11 years.
Okay.
And then went back to the hospital. I went to UNC. Yep. And then after that, I actually retired my corporate job and became a real estate agent over COVID, like in 2020. My kids were schooling from home. I have 3 kids, 16, 14, and 10 now. 2 boys and a girl. My daughter is the youngest. And my kids were schooling from home, and I had a high school, a middle school, and an elementary school.
Yep, I got all three.
Yep, and I was like, how, so I worked from home for 2 years in the hospital sector, and then they wanted me to come back into the office for like a couple of days a week, like on a hybrid schedule, but it was impossible for me to do because my kids were schooling from home, and no way I could leave three kids on 3 different schedules at home to do what they're supposed to do. Like, that was impossible. COVID was just a very challenging time for everyone, right? We were all going through it. And so I was just like, I really don't know, what I'm going to do. Like, I got to figure out something else because there's no way I can leave my kids. So I was like, man, I need to find something that I love. I need to figure out what my passion is. I need to figure out, because I still didn't feel like I was doing my passion. I didn't feel like that was what I was supposed to be doing, right? I want to do something where I go to work every day, but I don't feel like I'm really working. And so I was like, well, I was just thinking, I was asking different people about real estate. I was like, well, how do you like it? And how do you like it? And everyone's path is different. No one's path is the exact same. Yes, you all have to go to real estate school, but after you get that license, you get out there in the real world, it's totally different. So I ended up going to real estate school at night and on the weekends. That's what I did while I was working my corporate job. And I got my license, and I'll never forget the feeling of finally getting that license. Like, it was something that no one could take from me because I earned it, right? I worked hard for it. I earned it. And now I had to figure out what I was going to do with it. So as a full-time entrepreneur, you have to decide what your day is going to look like.
Absolutely.
What you bring in is totally up to you.
Right.
So how you go out and get it is going to determine the fruits of your labor.
Facts.
If you don't do any work, if you don't do any kind of planting seeds, if you don't harvest it, if you don't cultivate it, it's not going to grow. You're not going to produce any fruit. So from July to December, I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. I did nothing with it. I remember I posted on Facebook and Instagram that I had just became a real estate agent, right? Because they say, you can use these free platforms and you can market yourself and see where it goes. Right. I said, okay. Well, I really don't like social media that much, but from a business perspective,
he's a big hater too.
To grow your business.
I'm right there with you.
So I posted that, and people that I knew began to share my post everywhere. People were commenting on it, and you know how these new algorithms work now, how they have social media set up, and the more people like and comment on it, the more you're exposed to an audience and all of that. So I was able to grow my business from social media organically and completely word of mouth. People that I knew and didn't know would begin to email me. They would send me messages on Facebook or Instagram. They would ask me questions. And that's how I grew my business. Literally, when I quit my job, I remember I really didn't have a plan in place.
Right.
But literally, I quit in March. By April, I had 4 deals under contract.
But that goes back to what you said earlier. You didn't have a plan in place, but the big man had a plan in place for you, and that's why you was able to take that leap of faith, man. So shout out to you for doing that. Not everybody can do that. It's a scary thing. We don't know what's on the other edge of the door, but if you put your faith upstairs, he steers you. He doesn't steer you wrong at all. So,
and if I could be honest. Thank you. It's still scary. You look, 3 years later, it's still scary, right? I'm doing it scared. That's what they say. But, I have not lacked since I took that leap of faith. Has it been hard? Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Some days it's hard. Some seasons are slower than others. I'm not going to sit here and act like, it's just a piece of cake and I'm just out here doing it and I'm slinging houses. I'm not going to act like that because that's not reality and it's not realistic, right?
Right.
People see on social media the beautiful photos and the glam shots and the photo shoots and all that. All that comes with the marketing though, right? You sacrifice a lot to get a lot. You have to sacrifice, put something in on the front end in order to get something on the back end. And that's what it's all about, what you're willing to sacrifice, your time with your family and your friends. Sometimes I have to say no. A lot of times, I have to ask for, forgiveness from my family or permission to say, listen, this week is going to be a tough week. I'm going to be working 8-10 hours. So I'm not going to be able to cook every day this week. I'm going to have to pick up dinner. I'm going to have to order food out and get it delivered, because literally it's like that. So when the time presents itself, you have to go and get it, because you don't know when the time is going to present itself again. Right. But then you have to find that balance too.
Yeah. So one of the things I saw, I'm gonna read this quote, and I want to get your feedback on this quote here. It says, "I am not a transactional real estate agent. I am a relational real estate agent. I treat all of my clients like family, because truly we spend a lot of time together and talking through their home buying and selling experience." So talk to us about that.
Oh, so you did your research. That was my quote.
I'm a very professional.
Okay. I like that.
Talk to me about that.
Literally, so when I went into real estate, I said I didn't want it to be I didn't want to be a cut and dry real estate agent. I didn't want it to just be about the money, right? Because when you focus on the money, then it's not your passion. You're just focused on the money and how much money you can make. But if you focus on the work, the money will come.
Okay.
So for me, it's not about the transaction. It's about the relationships that I get to build through the transaction. Because guess what? When you call me to be your real estate agent, you could have called anyone else out here. There are hundreds of thousands of real estate agents. They on every corner. Every time you click, it's a real estate agent, right?
Yeah.
But the difference is in the interaction with each one of them, right? You're choosing someone to take on a huge responsibility. Some people are spending their life savings to do this.
Literally.
Some people are first-time homeowners. They've never been through this process before. So they might need you to hold their hand from start to finish. They might need you to answer some questions over and over again that you may have already answered 25 times. But you have to answer it every time like it's your first time answering it. And I want people to feel like, you know what, I know I can call Shamika and she's going to explain it to me. She's going to help me understand the process. She's going to make sure that I am aware of what I am doing. She's going to make sure that I know all of the steps. That's my girl. That's my home girl. Like, she's going to make sure. Like, I want my people, when we're done, to feel like we are family, to feel like even though the transaction is over, they can still call on me at any time. And I still keep in contact with my clients. Like, just because it's done and you closed on your house, you sold your house or you purchased your house, that doesn't mean that that's the last time we have to talk.
Right.
No.
Like, I believe in doing events for my clients, past, present, and future. You may not even be my client yet, but I might invite you to an event because I want to be able to build a relationship with you. I want to get to know you. I want you to get to know me.
All about connecting and networking.
It's important, right? Because I'm even like that with my children. I teach them that, like, at the end of the day, you can't judge a book by its cover. You have to actually read it. You have to actually get to know people as a person. And then make your decision based off of that interaction to decide how you want to move forward with it.
Oh yeah, definitely. We definitely understand that coming from the sales world ourselves. We actually used to work together in sales, and our tactic was completely like, we were just laid back, but also just people felt like I said, they were dealing with family. I'd be like, hey man, I'm gonna give you the ins and out. This is what it comes with. This is what they need me to say. You know, this, and this. And people just appreciate it, like, okay, you know, I don't want it, but, or if they like, you know what, I'm gonna get it just because you were honest about the situation. Whereas everyone else had like a pressure, like, look, I gotta get this money, I gotta get these numbers. We were just laid back. Hey man, look, here's what it does. If it makes sense to you, cool. If not, no big deal. And
Let's keep it moving.
Appreciate that, man. Definitely.
Absolutely. I'm not in the business of pressuring anybody to use me. I believe that my steps are ordered. I believe that everyone I'm supposed to work with is already ordained. There's enough money out here for everybody. There's enough money to go around. I don't want what's meant for someone else to have, and I'm sure someone else doesn't want what's assigned to me. I only want to work with the people that are assigned to me.
Right.
And I believe that anyone that is connected to me, the paths that we cross, it's a reason why we cross that path.
Right.
So let me ask you, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I was just going to say, and I just don't want people to feel pressured. I want them to feel comfortable in their decision in choosing me.
Making informed decisions.
So you mentioned earlier using social media as far as generating business, right? Mm-hmm. Now, you get the business, how do you maintain it? You know what I'm saying? So like for me, and you made a great point, like, so I'm on my second home, right? My real estate agent here, she did those exact things that you talked about as far as, any as many questions that we had, going through the loan process, all that. I feel like I asked her a million questions, but she answered it every single time. Just like, she built a relationship with my kids. They call her auntie, you know what I'm saying? And, so how do you maintain those client relationships?
It's fortunate to follow up. You still follow up with your people, even though the deal is closed, you still touch them. I believe in touchbacks. I believe in touching my clients. I believe in sending them stuff in the mail. I believe in popping by sometime. Hey, I was in the area. I might call you up and be like, yo, I'm in your neighborhood. Are you at home? I might be bringing some flowers. I might be bringing a pie by, whatever. But my people know that I'm like that. Truly, it's from my heart. Like, I love blessing my people. Like, I love that's just who I am. Whether I was your agent or not, like, if we cross paths at some point, like when you see me, I'm coming and I'm coming with a smile, and I'm probably gonna come with something every time. And I love my clients, their kids. I love that. I love their kids, like, because you get to know the kids. That's a part of their process too. I love when they get to pick out their rooms, and they be
I'm
so
gonna paint it blue. They already know the color.
I want this room. Yeah, they love it, and so it's an experience for the entire family, especially if it's a whole family. And even if it's not a person that has a family yet, one day they may have a family. They may start off in a townhome, but then they're going to remember that experience, and they're going to call you back and say, listen, I want to sell this home, but now I'm ready to upgrade because now I'm getting a family, and we're expanding. We need a bigger home now. We need a single family home. And then each person that you help knows 110 people. Word of mouth is the best marketing tool.
Good or bad, it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna, like you just talked about your realtor, and you remember those things. You remember how people treat you, because it's all about how they treat you. It's not about how much money you're spending. It's not about how big the transaction is. I don't discriminate. I don't care if you were pre-approved for $150,000 or $1 million. I'm treating everybody the same.
Keep that same energy.
Love to hear it. Love to hear it, man. It's so hard to find, people that, look at customers or potential clients that way, because everybody's out for a dollar, man. So that's really refreshing to hear that. Hey, no matter what you're spending, I got you. You know what I'm saying? That's good, especially for our people. We need that more in our community. You know what I'm saying? Looking out for one another.
No, that's important. I've experienced that too, even with me being a new homeowner. Like when you first, when you get a good realtor, you get a bad one, right? Because they're doing, the people that are really good, they're doing the research for you. I'm a person that when I go for something, I'm looking for anything, I do all the research anyway. So I'm coming to, with transactions, but I've had a couple people where they like, oh, okay, yeah, you can just, let me know when you need something. I'm like, nah, it don't work like that. Like, this is a huge decision. What you mean? Right. Or I'm like, I'm asking you or, requesting for you to, get these like, you should be showing me something. So I understood that process. And to your point, I don't know anything about this process. I haven't watched anyone. I haven't saw this process. I just know you're going to go through the steps, you get approved, and then it goes from there. So in my mind, it's going to go a certain way. But again, I don't have the knowledge, and I'm relying on you to be the expert. So you definitely know when you have a good realtor and a bad one.
That's a fact.
Customer service is the determining factor.
Listen,
if you could.
I know I got on her nerves, man. Especially with the whole when they watching your bank accounts before you close. You can't
underwriting.
Let me tell you something, man. That is the most. That is the most frustrating part, said to me. I enjoyed it, but
Facts.
I know I got on her and they're like, hey, can I do this? No, you can't. You gotta wait.
You feel like the fans is warning you, boy. You be like,
Look, don't do nothing until you close and that deed is recorded. When that deed is recorded, you do whatever you want to do. But before then, don't touch nothing.
Yes. I had some come on my account, and before I could get the statement, like hey, I saw such and such. What's going on? Like, I don't know nothing. What are you talking about?
So we know that nowadays, I don't want to sound like an old person here, but nowadays we have trends and fads, right? Things come and go, right? There's always something that's latest, greatest, right? And now there seems to be a huge uptick as it relates to people being realtors, right? So it's almost like now, you remember, I don't know if you remember when they had the Forex traders, right? I do
remember.
Yeah, you got to get to the bag, man. Then you had the MLM people, like these people right here. I don't know if my camera can see. Yep.
You just disappeared, big dog.
You should be here, people.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, we all remember them. We all remember the MLM.
But I never knew what that was. Actually.
You don't want to know. You don't want to know. It's a hustle. That's what it is. But this is about you right now. Focus. We had for those in radio land, the you should be here people, the little blue sign I'm holding up right now. But you had the Forex traders, you had the people when GameStop, stock market trader, right? You had this hustle. It was always something. And now it seems like, does it feel like to you that people are getting into the real estate game with the intention of like just hitting it big, make it a money? Because it's like everything now is just, I'm seeing people, I'm like, dog, you couldn't even sell candy when we had fundraising in school, and now you're a realtor, dog. Like, talk to me about that.
I mean, absolutely. I mean,
keep it honest. Go ahead.
People see, I think they see the glitz and the glam of it, right? On that side of the business. And right. I think that we live in a day and time where social media has taken over, and a lot of people, I think that they present real estate in a way that makes people want to do it because they feel like they're going to make all this money. And a lot of people are not posting who they really are.
Okay, see, this is what we're trying to get to.
Can you say that again, please? Say that again.
A lot of people are not posting who they really are. So while they may be posting a lot of designer brands and this and that, it doesn't necessarily mean that they made all of that from their real estate income. Not necessarily.
PPP loans.
Not me.
See, they'll do that. They still going after people.
And it's terrible. And I bet you all those people that did that regret it now, right? But I hear a lot of people talking about, I'm gonna get my real estate license, I'm gonna do this and do that. But here's the thing, if you don't have a plan after you get those licenses, I'm not really sure how you're gonna orchestrate really making any legit income.
Yeah, I just always wondered because, like I said, I'm seeing, and not to knock people hustle, I get it. But when you know somebody doesn't have a huge work ethic and they're just looking at somebody posted their Maserati, or hey, I'm in Miami, I'm in Dubai, I'm in here, and it's like, yeah, the top earners are going to be there, but the average person that's really a top earner, they're not just sitting there just waiting. Like, they're really out there getting it, right? Even you, when I try to get contact with you was like, let me check my schedule. I had to get back to you in a couple weeks, right? So,
did you just say that?
You did, but I'm just saying, it's not.
Was that via email, or did she tell you that on the phone? That makes a difference.
She told me on the phone. She told me. I did get to talk to her.
She's got real business, sir.
I did take his call.
And now I'm not knocking it. So what I'm saying is, I appreciate the hustle, right? I like my people to be busy. I don't have a problem with that. But what I'm saying is, you're seeing people look at the top earners that are doing it and to see, oh, well, Shamika, she just sold a $2 million home. Shoot, I could do, and it's like no real work ethic to it. It's just like they just see like, oh, it's gonna be easy. even getting to a real estate license. Like, I'm sure that's not an easy process. Just to get to that point.
It's definitely not easy. And you have to take a national exam and a state exam.
Oh, you lost me at exam. I'm out.
Yeah, so you have to go to a testing site and actually test. First, you have to pass your classroom exam.
Oh,
then you can go and take the actual exams and get your license. But yeah, like, you really got to put the work in. It's gonna be, how many nights I fell asleep in this very seat, like at my kitchen table, on my couch. Like, it's been times when I remember like going to bed at 3 a.m. and having to get up by 5, get my kids up and get them ready for school. It's been times when I get my kids from school and I still have to keep working, and sometimes I don't get home to 8, 9 o'clock at night. I mean, it's a lot that goes into that, and that's showing houses. I remember my first 12 months when I went full time, I did not take a vacation. I did not take any time off.
Oh, that's a hustle. That's
definitely
right.
I worked. You know what I'm saying? And you really don't see the fruits of your labor until what you're doing right now will show up 3 to 6 months from now.
Wow.
So what you do now is cultivating for that next
season.
So it's a long game, ultimately. So it's a long game.
Ultimately, it's a long game, but then you're gonna get some of those easy ones in there. Now, don't get me wrong. Now,
right?
You gonna get some easy ones in there. They gonna hit you up. They ready, boom, ready to go. Close in 30 days.
Right.
I done had some close in 17 days.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Which is, but I'm saying those are not, you're not hitting on 17 days like 10, 15, 20 times a month. That's what I'm saying. So I just want people to understand that there's a little more work that goes into it. Like,
a lot more. A lot more work.
Okay.
I'm not even trying to be fake, because people will have it misconstrued. Like, nah, you're going to work.
Yeah, because I mean, the closing process can be a long, and then there's times when you get to that last week, they were like, "No, it's gonna be next week." But we said that it was gonna be.
Man, listen.
People still calling me. Look at all these notifications while we just been on here. People still calling me right now. My phone does not stop.
Man, listen. I say it all the time, man. Nobody respects the grind. They always respect the reward. So, like, when you see these celebrities and whoever on Instagram, like, hey man, I just did this. You don't know what it took for that person to get to where they are. You know what I'm saying? They just feel like, oh, well, he can do it or she can do it, so let me go get a license. I can do it. Like, when you said exam, trust me, like, man, I was
out. She said class for me, and I was already. I everything after that, I ain't even hear nothing after that.
And you gonna be in there, and you gonna be like, yes, you gonna be in there.
And look what they say. I made parole, boss. I ain't going back.
So I'm good.
I'm good.
And then I had the nerve to go back to go to college, because since I missed out on my opportunity after high school, I was like, that's still a personal goal of mine. I still have that on my bucket list.
Just curious, what school are you going to? I was just curious. I just want to know what school.
North Carolina Central University.
North Carolina Central University.
Look,
North Carolina Central University.
How did I know that?
Let's go. I didn't even know it. I just found out like you, Irv. I just found out just like you, sir.
Listen, I'm sure you knew, because I knew. You know what I'm saying? I knew before she came up here where she was going. So don't do that.
This is news to me, man.
Don't do that.
Yeah, so I'm pursuing my degree, so I'm a full-time student as well, and I'm taking summer courses right now, going into my junior year in the fall. I'm so excited about it. That has gone by really fast, because this is so paramount, right? Like, I wanted to show my kids that it doesn't matter how old you are. Mm-hmm. If you got goals that you want to accomplish, you can still do them. And what's crazy is, my son, my oldest son, who's 16, he's in early college at NCCU. So his high school is on NCCU's campus. So
yes, my sisters were the first. They were the first participants for that.
I remember that. God. And he's there now. And so we are graduating the same year. He'll have 2 years of college done, plus his high school diploma. And I'll be graduating with my bachelor's in 2025, God willing. And Yeah, we'll walk the stage together. So
that
it's
is
just
dope, man. Like that
he's
is
literally like my
unbelievable.
little best friend. And yeah, like I had him when I was 22 years old, and I was like, I became a mom young. You know what I'm saying? I was a mom and a wife real young, and I still have my dreams. Like I'm like, okay, I got my family now. I'm gonna take care of my family, but it's gonna come a time when I'm gonna be able to chase mine, right? So now that my kids are older, I 2 in high school and one more year in elementary, and she'll be going to middle school. But now it's time, right? They're older. I can maneuver a little bit more now. So yeah, so for them to see me, because it's so funny, because I tell them, I said, well, what are your grades? And they're like, well, I said, I make the honor roll every semester. I'm just saying, I'm on the dean's list.
So
and I've been inducted into the National Honor Society. So
ain't
what's
no
all
excuse.
that?
Ain't no excuses. Mama can do it, then they need to be doing it.
Honey, what? After 20 years of being out of school, if I could do it.
You just set the bar high.
So with everything you got going on, right? You know what I'm saying? Work, school, how do you balance career, school, and being a mom? Like how do you balance that? You know what I'm saying?
Calendar. That schedule we talking about.
Oh, the one that you hit weeks with, the calendar,
yeah,
that one?
that schedule. Listen, if it's not on my calendar, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's probably not gonna happen.
Facts.
It's probably in this day and time where I am in my life right now, like literally I have to schedule time even with my friends. I know you guys have seen those memes that say, as an adult these days, in order for us to get together, like, what you doing on this week, on this day at this time? Because
gotta schedule it.
In my circle right now, they just know that's the space that I'm in, right?
Yeah.
And I promise I'm gonna get back, but right now, it's personal.
Grind season, baby.
it's personal, and so I gotta do what I gotta do, because in a minute I'm about to be paying for 2 college tuitions, right? In 2 years, and then my other son graduates 1 year after his brother.
Right.
And not only that, I still want to be able to set them up in a way so that they are ahead of the game when they do graduate college, and so that they can see definitely how important real estate is at a young age, right? Because whether they want to be in the business or not, whether they want to take on my business or not, I'm going to have it set up to where they can if they want to. Right. But if they don't, I want to go ahead and purchase them their first property, right, at a young age, so that by the time they get into their 30s and their 40s, they'll have assets. I didn't know about that kind of stuff until I was in my 30s, right? I didn't start honing in on that until then. And it's sad to say, but in our community, we're not really taught that. We're not taught a lot about credit. We're not taught a lot about saving up your money for a down payment. We're not taught about closing costs and I didn't know anything about that until I went to buy my first house.
Right. At
28 years old. I didn't know anything about that. Yeah. So, was I 28? 27. Yeah, but
another humble brag.
I didn't look. No, people are buying them at 18. Look, I wish I knew.
But we're the future of that. No, it's dope. But so, let me ask you this though. You talked about something I think is very important. You being, where you are now, being a successful Black woman, right? Someone who represents the culture. Do you ever sit back and look to think, what you are representing, what people can see in you? Do you think about the little ones that are coming up? Those young little girls that are looking up to see this Black woman who is successful, who's doing it, who's being a mom, who's taking care of responsibility, having this career, managing in school, doing all these things. Do you ever sit back and just look to see the generation of the people that you are influencing with just you being you?
Not really. I really don't think about it that much.
And I know, and that's the point, right? And so before you even say anything, let me get this moment. I'm gonna give you your flowers now. I won't wait till something happens to you. First of all, shout out to you for all the things you're doing. Like I said, I always known you to be a grinder. You let us know that there was much more to your story than just being someone who was at it, but you had responsibility. But as someone now who is getting new into this journey of life and home ownership. You know, a lot of people are getting introduced to that, but not only are you living proof that it can happen, but you're also helping other people to make that dream come true. So whether you realize it or not, people are watching you, not just for the people who are purchasing homes, but for the little girls that say, look, I don't have to do this. I can do it this way.
Absolutely.
Right? For the people who say, hey, this didn't work out for me this way, my life is not over. There's always another path. So I just want to say shout out to you and salute to you for continue to persevere, to continue to push through when sometimes it probably looked very dark and you probably couldn't see that light at the end of the tunnel. But you said, all right, I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to keep moving to see what happens. For you to now be at a point that you are sitting in a great position, in your position to really set not only yourself, but your family up. So that is my moment to say, here's your flowers, Shamika.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank
listen.
you. I appreciate that.
Hey, I want to throw some in there because I just met you through the interview. However, just learning your story, like, you know what I'm saying? I can relate to a lot of things that you've gone through. Me being the oldest of 6 children, single parent mom for a while, and, you know, having to grow up a lot faster than a lot of people. And the fact that you didn't let that deter you from your goals, going back to school, going back to be an example, everything you've gone through is truly, truly amazing. And so, like I said, just like with Weeks, you know, salute to you. I mean, you know, most people can't manage one thing. You got 5, 6 things, you know, going, you know what I'm saying? So, and you do it so effortlessly. So, you know, shout out to you, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's my
and to all your friends, she gonna be back soon. But I get that because I've known her for quite some time. He's invited me to his house 4 times for a cookout.
Jesus.
Asked me how many times I actually been to his house for a cookout. 0.
So just like 0. Yourself, he's been to my house. Actually, I just never cooked out. But just like
invited me to a cookout for 4 years straight. For 4 years, and I have yet to have any cookout at his house. I'm just saying
to make up for that, right? He knows I'm just like you. I was at a time I was extremely busy, but whenever he's called me, he's needed anything, you know, I've always been there. You know what I'm saying, to make sure I support my guy. So he may not have gotten the cookout. However, he know he got a show going on. I'm gonna buy a ticket. If it's local, I'm gonna be in the building. You know what I'm saying? So
I know that's right.
Tell the whole story. You know what I'm saying? Don't just make it seem like I'm inviting you to the crib and he just was at my house during the playoffs. On the food and everything. I was a great host.
I actually came over there, but like I said, he's invited me several times, but nothing has actually happened of that. But
it's okay. That.
It's okay. It's okay.
Hey, as long as you show up when it counts, that's what matters. Because that's what I do. I'm gonna show up when it counts now. But the kids' birthday parties, I'm there. My friends' birthdays, I'm there. Monument, I'm gonna be there. I might be a little bit tired, but I'm coming.
That's what it's all about.
I'll be there.
Dope. And I know Irv was talking about this earlier. Like, he knows I'm a huge HGTV type person. So how do you feel about these shows? Like, because I'd be thinking, like, how much is real? How much is fake? I've met a couple people who've gone through the process and they told me, like, some inside scoop that's like, what you see is not always what you get. But talk to me about all of these stories. All these reality TV shows.
Well, we all know that reality TV is stretched a lot. And so even before I got into real estate, I always loved HGTV because I used to always love interior design and interior decorating also. And so I always would help my friends and my family design their homes, pick out stuff. And that's what really made me get a love for that. And so watching those shows, that process, it looks like it's so easy in that little clip. They go see 3 homes, they pick out one, and then it is not like that.
So I got a question for you, right? Because this is what I don't understand, right? You know how they have the houses, right? And this is the part that always just throws me off. They'll be like, house is X amount of dollars, and it'll say budget $4 million, and then it'll say occupation, stay at home or bus driver. Now, once again, listen, I am not, hey, listen, if that's how you get it. I just want to know where these budgets come from because I'm trying to get to those kind of budgets. That's all. Hey.
Well, then they have a savings. You never know. It could have come from a trust fund. They could have had a savings and say, I want to buy this house cash. You really don't know how their financing is.
Okay, I'm glad you
You know what I mean?
You cleared it up for me because
it may not be based on their occupation.
Sometimes
I just think they be embellishing their occupation because it just be it'd be like basket weaving. I'd be like, come on, dog. Like, how many baskets are you making?
I done changed the channel plenty of times. I'm like, man, get out of here, man. I'm doing something wrong, and I'm thinking I got a good occupation. You know what? I'm turning this off. This don't make no sense.
It's true though. Like, you be looking at those shows and you're like, man, now there's no way.
No way.
And sometimes what they don't show on the shows either is these multiple offer situations. You know, we've been in multiple offer situations, especially during COVID, where houses were flying off of the market because we didn't have a lot of inventory.
Yeah, 100 people waiting to see houses. Yeah, it was
the lines long. I mean, you basically writing up sight unseen offers.
Yeah,
your client has seen the house, but they want so bad. They willing to pay $50,000 over asking. No matter how much you try to tell them, I don't think you should do that. They don't care.
They're doing it anyway.
Like, I want the house and I'm going to do it.
Okay. So you told us a little bit about your journey, your story, and you told us about some of the great things and how God is blessing you, how everything is popping. But what are some of the challenges? I know you said there are difficulties. What are some of those challenges that you face with being a realtor?
You know, it's unfortunate, but being a woman and being an African-American real estate agent in this industry is very hard.
Really? Wow.
Right? How you present yourself is everything. And I learned that from a young age, though. My grandmother used to always tell me, when you go outside, you make sure you have yourself together because you never know who you're going to run into. Right? Unfortunately, I've had some Caucasian clients. I haven't had a whole lot. I've had more African-American clients than I have Caucasian clients, but they may or may not work with you because they may not feel like you're as knowledgeable as one of their own kind, no matter what credentials you come with.
Wow.
So a lot of times I see my colleagues in my office, they're closing 50 million. They closing 26 million.
Wow.
So my 8 million or my 10 million to them is nothing, but to me it's everything.
Everything. Right.
10 million that's a lot. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
In transactions.
Wow.
You're considered a top producer, at that point. And to do it in such a short period of time where you've only been a real estate agent, for 2 years full time, to be able to do that, that's a lot of work put in. But then you look at your counterparts and you're like, man, they're doing this. And then, you have coaches or people around you that are saying, well, if you do this, you could get there. But to be honest with you, it's just different for us African Americans. It's different. The grind is, we have to work. We still have to work 10 times as hard to get that.
Even in real estate. Wow.
Even in real estate, it's the same thing.
I would have never thought that. Wow.
Me neither.
Thing.
Now, look, I heard about like when clients.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I heard about when clients go, like when they, they would get lowballed on offers based off of how they look, but I never thought that, you would be dealing with that on.
I didn't either. Wow.
Absolutely.
That's crazy.
They will give a Caucasian realtor the listing over me.
wow. More things change, the more they stay the same.
That's exactly right. You took the words right out of my mouth. But you know what? I don't let that discourage me.
No.
I'm still gonna shoot my shot every time. Every single time. You never know.
What did the great GOAT Michael Jordan say? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Oh, I'm sorry.
You miss on the shots you don't take.
You gotta take those shots. So I'm gonna take it every time. I'm gonna go on out there on a limb. I'm gonna see what's gonna happen with it. You never know.
Let's get it.
So before we get out of here, I want to ask you a question for the listeners out there. If you could give any piece of advice to a first-time homeowner, what would it be and why?
The piece of advice that I would give to a first-time homeowner, meaning before they decide to get into the home buying process or after, which one? Clarify.
Hey, listen, I
think we need to do before. I think before for the people who just give the before. The easier part I feel like is after, but give us the before.
For sure, I would say save as much money as you can. And make sure that your credit score is at least above a 620. At least, right? But of course, the higher your credit score, the better your interest rate.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Listen, man. Just what do you got to say to the people that think the housing market is going to take this crash? Because I keep saying
they wait for houses to be
$100. What do you got to say to those people, man? Because I see a post or a meme every day. It don't look like it's crashing. Look, y'all doing really well out there, please.
We don't know what the future holds, and if you continue to live in fear, you will never know what it's like to own that home. So I say take that leap. If that's what you want, go after your heart's desires. There's no time like the present. Why put off for tomorrow what you can do today? Don't worry about that. We don't hold the future. Yeah. I'm not worried about the housing market crashing. If it crashed, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
When we get there.
Big facts. Shamika, we definitely appreciate you stopping by the neighborhood for our kinfolk here at Black to the Basics. We are about the people, so we try to make sure that we get in tune with people that are doing something that's positive within the community, making a great impact. So it definitely was a pleasure and honor to have somebody that I've known for such a long time, and to learn about your journey and even get to know a little more things that I didn't even realize about you. So shout out to you for your story. But before we go, please, can you let people know how to get in contact you, where to reach you at? We'll make sure we also drop it in the visuals when we do the video component of this. But if you could just tell the people right now how they can get in contact you, where they can follow you, all that good things.
Absolutely. But firstly, I want to just say J Weeks. See, because you got me on that. J Weeks. Because I almost said something else, but we're not even gonna go there.
I appreciate it.
But I want to say thank you to both you and Irv so much for the opportunity, for giving me a platform to share a little bit of my story with the good people, with my kinfolk.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And we go back so far, and I just appreciate you for reaching back and nudging on me and giving me an opportunity. So thank you guys. I've had a great time with you. But to get in contact with me, of course, they can call me at 919-815-3983. But also on IG, I am Sham Burwell. That's S as in Sam, HAMBURWELL. Or on Instagram at Shamika Burwell is my personal page, or Shamika Burwell Realtor, my business page.
Definitely. We appreciate Shamika. We'll definitely drop this in the visuals when it drops. So again,
shout out to you.
Yes. Again, thank you for taking the time to talk to us, talk to our kinfolk, let them know what's going on. But kinfolk, we definitely appreciate y'all for tuning in. But please remember, when I talk, you talk, we talk, that's that free talk right here in the People's Podcast. Catch y'all next week.